Son Goku versus Granolah the Cerulean Survivor. Migate no Gokui versus Power of the Strongest. The power that the very dragon was able to give him to make him the greatest warrior in the universe amongst all the life forms apart from the gods. A battle of a mortal that surpassed gods versus a mortal that wished for power to surpass gods. You didn't catch that. But before we get into that, if you have a Twitter, follow me on my Twitter at PrideWave6853. If you like Dragon Ball, if you like Devil May Cry, if you like video games, you like fictional verses, subscribe to the channel. Check the channel out. You may like the things that you see. Let's hop into this video. So as stated, Granolah is indeed a force to be reckoned with. He is indeed the strongest in the universe. He has been elevated to be stronger than beings previously that we've ever seen, and on top of that, he has accumulated any and all powers as stated by Toei the Dragon in chapter 68 and chapter 69 that he indeed could make him the strongest. He found a loophole that he previously could not do so with his own power, gaining power unnaturally, surpassing his own potential of power amongst all life forms. Now, here's the thing that you have to understand about that statement. That statement says, amongst all life forms, you wish to become the greatest warrior amongst all life forms apart from the gods themselves. The only thing that we could take away from this is that anyone that is considered to have a life form, I mean, you have a life force, life expectancy, you need food and water, you need to actually feed yourself, exist the way you're not immortal, you have a lifespan, you have a life force. All right, that means you are a life form. That means whatever Toei's interpretation of what a god is, he is saying besides them, and you include everybody else. There's information and there's a lot of things going for this being as plot convenience for it to be written so Granolah does not surpass angels. Now I know people are going to say, well, Kaioshins are gods, but they are life forms. Guess what angels don't have that everybody literally else has? A lifespan. Guess what else they don't have? A life force. Guess what else they don't need? Food and water. It's all the same to them. They just merely exist. From the time that they are born with angel powers. They are born with no lifespan. They are immortal until whenever they get erased for breaking the angel laws. Alright? That's the only way that they apparently can be eradicated. Or if you just beat them, in a fight or something. Whereas a Kaishin and a Kaioshin have to be tied to one another. Whereas you have gods of planets, like guardians of planets and stuff. They are also considered as gods, but you have to understand about all of these beings, they're not gods from the day that they are born. They are not born with these abilities. They have to be groomed and be an apprentice and basically elevate themselves to become that of a god. If you catch my drift. Kaios are a god race, but they are a god race being groomed to become Kaioshins, if you understand what I'm saying. Hakaishins are warriors that are appointed as god of destructions to become tied as Kaioshins. They have no concept of justice. They have to be neutral, but they have to destroy all things that doesn't elevate the universe. It's basically like a job. And the angels are born where? Outside the multiverse, on a planet in the heavenly realm. So, to go further, how we know that the Kaioshins are included in this is, well, look at Granolah again. Look at what he showcased. He showcased Hakai at this peak entropy, both versions reducing to ash and erasing you from existence before Vegeta even got a speck of it. The wish was granted before Vegeta even attained a speck of Hakai, if you remember back in the earlier chapter. So therefore, we know that Hakaishins are included in this as well. Not only did we know that he gained any and all powers that existed and not gained just the powers that he would have had, he gained Moral's magic ability that of manipulating Genki. Moral doesn't even exist right now. Moral is dead. He's in the afterlife. Guess what? He gained that power. Guess what else he gained? Cloning. He can clone. Guess what else he gained? A movement that's faster than infinite speeds. Instant teleportation, which is instantaneous movement. Why is it infinite speeds? Well, because wherever, no matter where you are, it can cross any distance at an instant. At any point in time, at any distance, you can cross in an instant. That's infinite speeds. He was able to move faster than that. With whatever power that he used, it was only a fraction. That movement allowed him to move faster than instantaneous. What else did he gain? He gained the ability to fly, which he wasn't able to do at first. He gained the ability to be able to sense nearby planets and stuff around for life forces. He couldn't do none of that prior to having the wish granted. And we don't know if he would have had that power in his lifetime. It's more than likely he wouldn't have been able to do the Hakai. Maybe the other stuff, maybe not. We don't know. He specializes in sniping, so his special ability would be using that eye to exceptional precision range. So by knowing this, he gained all of that, right? But he didn't gain something that the angels specialize in though. He didn't gain Ultra Instinct. That's something that he did not gain. That's something that the dragon could not give him. That means that the dragon views the angels as God, and the statement was literally made as plot device to not surpass angels. There's a thing, thinking between the lines with that. Anyway, continuing on to there and going to the fight itself. Goku versus Granolah turned out to actually be somewhat kind of decent. Sometimes here I was hyped for the start, but then as it continued on, I wasn't really that hyped because it kind of I already knew the outcome. Basically, I already knew Goku was gonna lose. Once Granolah figured out a weakness that basically Goku vital points was always open. The thing that was stated for Ultra Instinct is that it protects his vitals. All right, Ultra Instinct avoids his vitals being hit. Jiren was trying to hit his vitals, but that was all getting avoided because that's what Ultra Instinct do. It avoids his vitals from being hit, and he instead hits their vitals and landing critical hits and critical blows, and is outpacing him in agility and reaction and all of that, So by knowing this, that means Goku didn't perfect. His training was inefficient. As he stated, he hasn't gotten down applying it to his Super Saiyan forms. He hasn't gotten that down yet. As he said, his training it is not Ultra Instinct, it's just his training. That's Ultra Instinct actually has no weaknesses. Ultra Instinct has no openings. It's shown with Maris and it's shown with Whis. Now, granted, Maris did slip out of Ultra Instinct for a split instant, as he did get hit by Moral 7-3, but that's because he was talking, and as Maris did say before that even any of that happened, he did say that the thing about Ultra Instinct that you cannot do is cannot let thoughts slip into your mind. Once you let thoughts slip into your mind, your body cannot do what it needs to do. It will not react on instinct. It will not be able to utilize that state of being. Ultra Instinct, you are susceptible to attacks that normally that wouldn't hit you, where your body has a will of its own and it would take care of the rest. But we do know that once you perfect it, you're on the constant. You can do it normally. You're gonna normally always be in a state of Ultra Instinct. And the thing about it is, Goku hasn't gotten that down. So Granolah, having and seeing that as a weakness, was able to take advantage of that because he has the sharpest eye in the universe, and he's able to see the cell and blood movements and stuff and how it works and where it's going to be at, things of that nature. But the counter to that was the Ultra Instinct form itself. The Silver Hair UI was able to counter that because he was not able to see the vitals, as we see in the chapter 70 itself, and as stated. And that's why he asked what form is that. But Goku did a little bit too much rambling, giving him too much information. Goku told him that he had a time limit in this and he has to end the fight quickly. This is perfected Ultra Instinct, so he knows that in that state he's in a constant 100%. As we told him, only use that when the battle demands you to surpass your limits, because you have a stamina drain and a time limit in all your forms because you haven't mastered the technique yet. So of course Goku does do that though. Goku does handle the clone. He handles the clone, which the clone was stronger than Blue Ultra Instinct, which is cool, right? But the thing about it is the time that's passed, it wasn't that much time that's passed. So with Granolah having that eye and using the clone as a recon, as a scout, it all makes sense anyway, because he's supposed to be the best and most efficient sniper. That's what he specializes in. They can mask around, move around, hide their energy, you know, be quick. They have the greatest precision and all of that. You master marksman. You know, it all makes sense with him being elevated to be the strongest or whatever, because he feels all these powers immediately as well. So he has to be the best, meaning he has to be smart as well and apply intelligence to that. So he has to have high intelligence. Maybe that granted him high intelligence. And we see that he knew that he wouldn't be able to basically land a hit on Goku, because in combat, Goku would be faster, right? When we see, even when Blue was chasing down Granolah, Granolah was faster. Travel speed, you really to see that. Granolah was faster, but when it came to combat, Goku was faster, because he's gonna always be a step ahead since his body is separated. Doesn't matter how fast he is, his reactions were gonna be faster, and his movements were gonna be faster, because his body instinctively is doing that on its own and his will, because he's not thinking, whereas Granolah has to think. So it all made sense that Granolah would wait it out and wait for a decrease in accuracy. Now here's the thing about this that is a bit forced, and it's forceful plot in order to see Ultra Instinct again in the future in a direct confrontational fight, and to showcase how great and how magnificent and flawless and godlike of a fighter he is, all through training. He got this strong all through training without wishing for it, you know? So that's going to come into play, that regardless. But I'm just going to say the accuracy thing was never stated. I mean, we know that, you know, by default, if your stamina is, you know, you becoming fatigued and stuff, you're not going to be as good and great. But the thing is, barely any time has passed. Time has not passed longer than he was fighting Moro. Time has not passed longer than when he was sparring Whis. The thing about this is, if they were going to say this should have been stated earlier. If Toei wanted to write this, he should have wrote this earlier and had Whis mention this earlier, instead of having Whis and Beerus state that he's getting sharper instead. You know, as time goes on, he was getting sharper. But I will say that in a way, he did show this as well, that Goku did slip, like he did slip out of the accuracy of his UI when Moro merged with the planet and caught him off guard and used a blast, and Goku didn't dodge it, but he blocked it instead. He was able to block it, and it showed that the accuracy does drop there, because that his body should have just automatically reacted and dodged out the way, you know, but instead he wasn't able to do that. So his accuracy, there's something there with the accuracy decreasing. Maybe nobody was able to notice it until Granolah, and Granolah was the first one able to notice because he has the sharpest eye and he elevated himself to the best in the universe. So it would make sense that he would be able to apply all of this and be strategic and understand. Even though he couldn't see his vitals, he remembered the vitals, but when Goku told him he has a time limit, he was able to understand, oh, that means you're not going to be at a constant 100% rate. You're not going to be able to the whole entire time. So all he would do was wait until a slither of a time passed by. Whenever he felt was be efficient enough that he knew that a blow would land would be effective, and he could instant KO him as he did with a Super God Shock Flash. But another thing that went in his favor is Granolah didn't know that Goku was going to be distracted. Vegeta was trying to tell him where the real Granolah is at. This all played into his strategy, and which is why he has a gruesome, evil, grinning smile on his face. He took advantage of that, and you know, he's already faster than instantaneous movement. He's faster than infinite speed, so he can cross that distance at a great inaccessible speeds that are so hard to react that most characters in fiction aren't reacted to at all. You wouldn't even be able to perceive anything. All right, so he was able to do that, and Goku would, by him thinking and not being able to comprehend the situation, not being able to comprehend that he's talking to a clone, not being able to comprehend that Vegeta was trying to tell him and let him know that the real one, that's not the real Granolah. He wasn't able to comprehend that, and so he had to start thinking, which the thoughts entered their mind, which made his body not be able to react and do what it needs to do in order to counter Granolah. And that all just worked into Granola's favor. And that's when he started talking his smack about, oh, that form decreases as time goes on, and all I had to do was wait, and I was just saving my real power for Frieza, who he doesn't even know that it's not stronger than Goku right now. So it's kind of funny that how strong he think Frieza is. It just shows you how the gap between Frieza was compared to like everybody else that knows Frieza, except like Beerus. And the point is, Granolah is indeed the real deal. He's able to apply analytical information and able to process all of this well. That's why Vegeta says that's impressive that he was able to do that, because even from at a distance of that far, he was able to remember and he was able to see the vital from that far. That's a sharp eye. Granolah is very good, and it makes sense because Granolah is the best. As we see, he has everybody's techniques and stuff except Ultra Instinct. So we're going to see Vegeta versus Granolah next chapter. It's supposed to be a death match. All right, it's a killed or be killed situation. So Vegeta should kind of match up a little better, because another undoing, as I said, for Goku was his benevolent naivety. And that's mainly because Goku's looked at it as a sparring session anyway. That's just what makes Goku Goku. But to top it off, Goku didn't really want to fight him anymore. He actually didn't find any reason to fight him anymore, because he ended up finding out they've been fooled, they've been bamboozled, they've been duped. All right, so in his head, you know, he should try to talk to him, and Vegeta told him not to, and Goku's like, oh, so I should beat him and then try to do it first, huh? And Vegeta's like, you're still gonna try, you know? But Vegeta told him not to, basically, because there was no point in trying to, because he's set upon trying to eradicate their race. All right, but Goku is Goku, you know, he's gonna always try. He wouldn't be benevolent, wouldn't make him if he don't at least try. Now, I will say the thing I don't like, and that I don't mind in a way or whatever, is the fact that he's gonna always have a time limit to this silver hair UI, because he hasn't mastered the tech, right? So until he masters the tech, it doesn't matter how much power he gains, it doesn't matter how much further he grows and the heights that he reaches, until he masters the tech of Ultra Instinct, he will always have a stamina drain, and he'll always have a time limit. And to free him of that time limit and to free him of that stamina drain, he has to master the Ultra Instinct tech normally and in his other forms. And I guess at that point, we won't see him close his eyes anymore. You know, right now he's just closing his eyes. But until we not see him close his eyes, you know, he won't master the form. It has to be like basically him in UI form, basically in any other form, kind of sort of like applying that same way that he's in that form to the same to the rest of them. So he won't have any time limit to any form. All right, it doesn't matter what transformation he uses, doesn't matter if he's in base, doesn't matter if he's Super Saiyan, Super Saiyan Blue, Super Saiyan 3, Super Saiyan 2, whatever it may be, he won't have a time limit and stamina drain. And maybe we will see Super Saiyan 3 more often, all right? Because Super Saiyan 3 has more energy drain and more strain than Super Saiyan God. So maybe Ultra Instinct could help with that, and that would be cool or whatnot. But that's also kind of make way for Kaioken to be mixed in with Ultra Instinct form also, so that could be a thing too. That would be really something. Ultra Instinct Kaioken times 20. That's ridiculous. That would be ridiculous or whatnot. But let me know your thoughts down below. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.